Hey guys, Janet here today with an Ireland layout episode. I know, it's been a little while. I really started out hot and heavy with this book and really got a lot done in a small amount of time. Got halfway done it in just a couple of weeks, and then things have just, happened, and I went on vacation and it just kind of fell to the wayside. But I am back. So this, I believe, is episode 11. And for this episode, I'm still picking up where I left off in the last one. The last episode was Killarney. It had our hotel and some of the city pictures. This is going to be the Gaelic Roots show that we saw and the Jaunting cart ride, which is basically a horse and carriage ride. Um, and then after this, um, I'm going to probably do things a little out of order for how I took the trip because for the Ring of Kerry, we did go to a sheep dog herding demo, and Reminisce is actually coming out with a sheep herding paper pack, which is going to be perfect for it. So that's supposed to come out sometime this month. So I'm going to kind of go out of order a little bit after this episode, but you'll still see everything. It'll just not be exactly in the order that we did it in the trip. But when I put it in the scrapbook, it will be in the order for how it's supposed to be, because that's just how my personality goes. So this is the Gaelic Roots live show. It's like a Irish dancing show and music and stuff like that. So I decided to use this paper. This Ireland paper is a little different than some other paper. Let me move my camera down just a little bit here. Um, like the other Ireland paper is a lot of greens and oranges and the actual Ireland colors. This one's just different. But I think like Scrapbook Customs has this same design for lots of different countries with these colors. But I don't know. I thought this would be kind of cool for the Gaelic Roots live show because I didn't really know what else I was going to use anyway. So I'm trying to remember what I had planned here. Oh, I think I remember. So I'm doing another little grid thing that I've done before because honestly, it's really just a great way to get a lot of photos into one layout. And that's printing them smaller and using like these are all 3x3s. So I think my plan was to layer these two. I think that's why I have this red here. So I think my plan was to layer these and center them on this. And then I think what I was going to do over here, I'm going to put the pamphlet. I do like to use stuff like this in my scrapbook. I haven't been using it as much in this book because I have so many pictures already, but um, I do like to put things like this in here whenever I can. And then this is the picture of the dancers that we got to take a, they were kind of waiting at the end and you could take a picture of them. So I think I'm going to do that here. And this may cover like a little bit of the top of the country, which I'm not crazy about. But on the flip side, we actually didn't do anything on this. We started here and went here and around and stopped in Galway and then headed back over here to Dublin. So we didn't actually go to any of this stuff up here anyway. So I'm thinking if I have these up, maybe about right there, it won't cover up quite as much. I may trim this one down a little bit. We'll see. But I didn't want to print this one smaller. I wanted to print this one, at the regular size. So I think that is what my plan for this one was. So this one, I'm not using a sketch. This one's going to be a very basic layout. And in my opinion, it doesn't hurt to have some basic layouts in your book sometimes because some layouts are going to be a little bit more complicated and some are not. That's just kind of the way it goes. So every now and then, I like to have something simple because some layouts with these sketches that I use are a little bit more involved. But I did go back and forth with which color to map behind these pictures. And the red behind it, I mean, especially with this picture, with the lighting is so red, it just didn't look good. Even without that picture, it just didn't look good. It didn't make the pictures pop. So I went ahead and decided to go with the white. But then I decided to just mat this on the red because even though this looks okay matted on this, I think the red will help it stand out a little bit more. And then I'm matting the other photo in this yellow to pull out basically the colors that are kind of in here. So that's kind of where my thought process went for this one. But I really want to get this book done. I don't want to rush through it. I want to enjoy the process, but I wanted to get it done because my in-laws' anniversary is this month, and I am filming this in August of 2025. For those of you who are not watching it, recent, but their anniversary is just in a couple weeks, and I really doubt that I'm going to have it done, especially since I'm trying to wait for that sheep paper. All I know is that, on scrapbook.com, it says it's coming out this month. It doesn't say when this month. It could be the beginning of the month, the end of the month. I don't even know. So I don't know if this is going to be an anniversary gift or a Christmas gift at this point, but I was really hoping for it to be an anniversary gift. Because if it's not done in time for the anniversary, it'll be done shortly thereafter. I'm hoping this book will be done in the month of August, if I can keep up on it. So I'd really rather just give it to them for their anniversary versus hanging on to it till Christmas time and just having to store it. The other one for my sister-in-law, that one is going to be a Christmas gift. So I'm already going to be hanging on to that one. There's really not a reason for me to give that to her early. I mean, she has an anniversary in November, but her husband wasn't on the trip, so it really wouldn't be an anniversary gift, so to speak. And November's close enough to December. I might as well wait for Christmas anyway. So, but my in-laws do have their anniversary this month, so I'm hoping, even if it's a little late, I mean, they're not gonna have a problem if I just say, "Hey, your anniversary gift's gonna be, a week or two late. It's not the end of the world. Nobody really cares about that kind of stuff. At least most people don't." There. So those are all on there. Let me get my paper trimmer. I got this paper trimmer from Joann's before they closed, and I got it. It wasn't on a really good discount, but I'm so glad. It's just another Fiskars, and I have several Fiskars, but I like that this one goes all the way to 6 inches. Like, it's not as, most of them only go to like 4 or 5, but I like that this one's actually wider. So I paid more for it than I would have liked to, but I'm really glad that I got it. I really like it a lot. So I didn't really measure this. I kind of just, as you saw, I just put the photos down and went from there. But I do have to cut the red one. Let me just see where this is. So it's like 9 3/4 roughly. It should be like a 9 3/4 square, but it's not. It's like 9 1/2. So I'm not sure how that happened. So what I'm probably going to do is go ahead and just put this down on the red and then just trim it down from that. And I think I'm going to use some score tape to do that. I really do enjoy using some score tape in my scrapbooking, just as some of my adhesive, just because it's a really good adhesive. So I think I'm going to do that. Maybe just in the corners, and then I'll fill in the middle with a little bit of tape runner. Really, the score tape is so strong that you really don't need to add a lot of extra adhesive. Maybe I'll just put one in the middle and call it a day. There. So you don't need a ton of extra adhesive, but I am one who just uses more adhesive than I need to. I'm sure some of you watching these videos are like, "Oh my God, she's using so much adhesive." But that's just what I do. Only because I've gone through some of my older albums and stuff was actually starting to come apart, like stuff was falling off the pages. So obviously the quality of adhesive that you use also does matter. Now the question is, do I want to make this have a bigger border? I think a little bit of a bigger border. I don't want it to be exactly the same as that. There. But I think it does depend on the quality of adhesive that you use, but also just, you know, over time, the stuff just doesn't stick as well as it once did. That's just how it works. So I just want to make sure that my stuff is stuck down really good, especially when I'm giving it as a gift. Like, I don't want somebody to be looking through their gift, while down the road and um it's, coming apart. So I'm just gonna take a sliver off of this one. For some reason it looks like there's a little bit more at the bottom. It actually doesn't look even. I might have put this white on here crooked. I mean, it looks even here and here for the most part, but on the bottom where I'm lining it up, maybe it is. I don't know. It doesn't look like it totally is, but maybe I should just leave it alone then. I think I'm just gonna leave it alone. Yeah, because I think I had to put this on crooked or something somehow, some way, because when I go to trim, it looks like there's less here than here, and as I'm looking at it, it kind of looks like I may have just tilted it upward a little bit. So I'm gonna just leave it alone. I'm not gonna try to, fix it up. So I'm gonna just put this in the center, I think, on the other side here. But I think adding the red behind it really helps it stand out a little bit better. Okay. We're gonna try to center this as good as we can here. It's me, so it's not gonna be completely centered, but I think that looks close enough that it'll work. So that side, aside from maybe doing some embellishing to it, is pretty much done. So then over here, I'm going to grab just, I've really been liking putting just at least one piece of score tape on the picture in the middle. I don't mind using tape runner for the rest of the adhesive on it, but I like putting the one in the middle because I do feel like, again, that helps it hold a little bit better. So you'll see me doing that here and there. I'm going to give this one just a thin border just to make the picture pop a little bit. But yellow is a very powerful, bright color, so I don't go overboard with it too often. It's just supposed to give it a little bit of a pop, and that's it. So yeah, it is going to cover a little bit of the country here and even a little bit of that compass, but that's the hard part about using paper like this. Like, I love using the themed paper, but it is harder sometimes when you're trying to maneuver around that stuff and having photos that work for that purpose. This pamphlet I am just going to use regular adhesive on because it's just a flimsy piece of paper, so I don't think it's going to have any trouble staying. I'm going to center it from like here and here because where this photo is going to be, it can kind of lay next to it. So yeah, when you're using paper like this, it does make a more simple layout. Like if you're wanting to get something done quickly and you're doing a travel book, like papers like this do help because there's very little designing that you need to do, so to speak. But what I don't always like about that is it takes away the chance for me to be creative and do more, with it. So there's that. Okay, so there's the pages. Let me grab my embellishments here and see. I am doing really good using embellishments and paper, like doing really good using everything that I bought for this stuff. All right, let's take those. So let's see what we have here. I think these little Celtic knots would be cute on here. I could put one somewhere. It's too bad there's not six, so I could use like two because I've, again, three books to do. So five is not going to be an even number for that, but this one I still have reserved possibly for that Waterford, um, the Waterford Crystal for the title. It's either going to be this or Waterford Crystal Workshop. Still haven't decided on that. I'm going to just see if that has any other place, and if not, I'm going to use it for that. So I did get these, and I have this, which I only have one of because if you saw my scrapbook.com haul, I bought the paper that had all these different countries on it, but I only have one, so I don't have enough for all the books. So that'll be just something that goes into my book. And this little guy's been used up except for this border and this here. And these, no matter what country you buy these for, they all have this same one border. So I have other ones of that I can match up to use if I need to. So let's see what we have here. Actually, I think the harp and violin or whatever, I think those would be great things to put for the music show. Let's just take a look. This is Cliffs of Moher, so I'm going to put that in the next video's layout. But yeah, I mean, I've done really good using a lot of this stuff. I'm not seeing anything on here. It's weird that they have Galway twice, but let's see. I'm actually looking for any more like musical type stuff. What's left in here? We actually have been using a lot of this. So I'm not sure where I'm going to put that yet. I don't know if I'll use that. I'll probably use that at some point. This I already know what layout that's going on. That's going on the sheep. Yeah, so none of these are going to work for this layout. And most of them are already kind of spoken for, so to speak. I have this one that just says Ireland. This was Dublin specific, so that's probably not going to work. And then we have these. So yeah, I'm just taking a look real quick to see if anything. I haven't used any of these, but that's because I only have one of them. I don't have enough for all the books. And some of these things I just don't have room on my layouts for. Like this was Blarney Castle. I don't even know what some of these are. So this one may not be getting used much. I may be able to use these flags and maybe this, but I'm not really sure about that. This one is just travel related, so I can do whatever. Um, Nothing is jumping out at me. Although these four corners with these little knots would be cute, maybe in the four corners of that. Let's see, because I do have this sheet for all three books. So, is there any green on this side? See, there's really not green. It's like a teal color. So I don't know if this is the best layout for that. So let's start with the musical things that I think would actually go with this layout pretty good. So we have this one and we have this one. And I mean, I'd like to pop these up, but I'm actually going to leave these flat because the book is already getting rather thick and I'm like halfway done. So I'm trying to keep things flat. So I'm feeling like maybe just popping that there and maybe popping this one here, just kind of, in the middle. That gives that layout something. Honestly, I don't think this one needs a whole lot because it's got the decorative edge. There's a lot of a lot going on in the pictures. I don't think this needs a lot. And this side here, again, there's already a lot going on. So I don't know that maybe like, well, I don't know. There's already a title there. So I don't know if I would. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I should put something over here. Maybe one of these knots because I put these over here. Let's put one of these knots over here. Which one do I want to use? I think I'm going to use this one. And these have like a lot of dimension to them. I'm actually going to peel off that pop-up circle in the back because I do that sometimes when there's something that's really 3D and I don't want it to be that 3D. I will do that. So let me get all these embellishments put off to the side. Got a lot going on over here. Big pile of stuff. Let me put those over there. And then let me just take one more look at this one because this one's a newer one that I just added into the mix. Like this beer, I'm going to go back and put on the Guinness pages, I think. Um, Not seeing anything here that I would put on this layout, so to speak. So we're going to leave that be for now. We are going to peel this off. And I just kind of take my nails under here and just do this gently. Sometimes it comes off nicely in one big piece. Sometimes it's chunks, but slow and steady is definitely the best thing to do here. Like when I rush, it comes off in chunks, and that actually takes more time to try to get those chunks off and make it more even. So I'm just trying to get most of this off in one go. So there, very little dimension left there. And for this one, I'm going to put score tape behind it because it's already uneven. So it's already not the best That's actually too big. Let me put maybe some of the smaller one here. But that way I can put something on this side. I just feel, I don't know, I always put embellishments on both layouts. So at least something. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, but maybe just something like right here, like that. So again, simple pages, but that's sometimes is all we need to do. So that's that one. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to the Jaunting cart ride. And I'm really excited about this one because it's I've got some good paper here that I'm gonna use. And I thought I had a sketch for this one, but maybe I didn't. I know I had a sketch for this one. I think it's actually in with I have the other two books, their stuff put together here, so I think it's in with these. Here it is. Okay. I knew I had a sketch. All right, so we're gonna just move along here. So this is the sketch I'm trying to work with. And for this one, I'm altering it slightly by there's no paper here on the sketch, like they're using it just down the center. I'm putting pattern paper in these areas. And then I'm using strips for the paper here and the hearts, I'm using pattern paper. I am doing this and this. I'm not journaling, I'm just putting another photo there. I do like to journal occasionally, but I don't journal all the time. And sometimes I feel like the pictures kind of already tell the story without me having to write it all down again. You know what I mean? So let me lay it out and show you what I was thinking. I think this is going to be a really, really good looking layout. I was very happy with it when I was planning it. So I'm using this off-white for my background. Trying to make sure this is straight for you guys. It just doesn't seem like it. It's like if it's straight for me, it's not straight for you. So let me put it straight for me and maybe adjust slightly. There we go. All right. These are, I think this is my big mat. Yeah, this is my big photo mat, I think. Okay, let me lay it out and show you guys what I was thinking. But I have this cute little horse paper. How cute is this? I don't have any like horse and carriage paper, but I figured horse paper was good enough. And I think that my in-laws and my sister-in-law are really going to like this layout because they grew up with horses, they had horses, they raised horses, whatever the case may be. So I think they're really going to enjoy this layout specifically because of the horse theme. So what I'm thinking, I think I have these two separated by the word. Yeah, like kind of the words Ireland, because the colors of this Ireland paper kind of just go with this layout. I think I have that overlapping though because of where the pictures fit. I'm pretty sure that I'm actually pretty sure too that I'm supposed to have. Oh, they're down here. Okay, wait a second. I think I'm still missing some strips here. So, oh, okay. Wait, I'm not. These two go over here like this. And then these two are over here because they're only partials. Like there was no need to use whole strips here because this is going to go here like this. So this is, we're just dry fitting right now. I'm just kind of giving you an idea of what we're looking at here. So this is going to go together rather quickly because I've already cut all this stuff out. But so in this little square here or rectangle, I have 3x3 photos again. I've been really liking doing 3x3 photos. So I have one of each of us, you know, I'll call them couples, but that's my sister-in-law and her son. But I have, all of us, and then I have three other pictures. And then these are going over here. And then this one I think was going here. This one's going this way because the horse is kind of looking in that way. And then this one was going to be on the end there. So what do you guys think? I think this is going to be a really, really cute layout. So the hard part's going to be deciding where I want these strips because they don't all fit. Like something's going to have to be overlapped for this to work. So what I'm probably going to have to do is place these, then place the picture, well, place this and then place the picture so that I can see what spacing I have here. But that is what I'm looking at, guys. That is what I think is going on here. Well, one thing I can do right off the bat is get these pictures matted on here because then I can move that as one big piece rather than having to move all these little things over and over again. So let's go ahead and put those down. Trying to look at my spacing. All right, so it looks like they can have a little bit more spacing there, maybe like that. Okay. I always do my corners first and then I fill in the middle photos. Get my adhesive up here. The corner ones I can bring in a little bit because I feel like there's a big gap right there. So I feel like I can bring them in from the corners a little bit, but then they just have a skinnier gap in between them. Like that maybe. I feel like there's a big gap there. Let's just see how it works out, I guess. Then I can at least just move that as one big piece. Yeah, there's not as much of a gap in between the pictures vertically, but then the outside and down the middle has a bigger gap. I could have probably brought them all in closer to the middle, but oh well. I don't feel like redoing it all now, so I'm just gonna leave it alone. But there, now I can move that as one piece. All right, so we're gonna start with these bottom pieces. Make sure my horse paper is right side up. I feel like it's slightly shorter than the paper, but oh well. Yeah, see, it's definitely slightly shorter than the paper. How bizarre. Of course, this is Basil cardstock, and sometimes because of and this is coordination, so yeah, I mean, I don't know, but it just seems shorter. But we're gonna put this down here, and that's gonna cover up some of that white gap, but I mean, I could cut a sliver off, but I'm just gonna leave it be. I don't think it's gonna matter that much in the grand scheme of things. I don't think anybody else would even notice it unless I point it out, so we're just gonna leave it be. I do like this score tape that you can just tear it too. And I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit on this other piece that's gonna go on top of that. Just to kind of get that out of the way. There we go. Trying to make sure this is even. This is a 8 by 11, I believe. So it's only going to have a half an inch roughly on the top and bottom. So just trying to make sure that's even. See, this is bugging me that you can see this like sliver of, I don't know if you guys can really see it, but it's like a sliver of white right there. And same at the bottom, but maybe it's not that noticeable. I don't know. How does this picture fit in here? Okay, perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and put this one down because we already know where it's going and there's nothing else going there. So that's something we can get done. And that is going to get centered right in there, like that. Okay. So then this one, and I want to make sure that it's going to be even on the other page. So I think I'm going to move this page out of the way for just a second. And I'm going to at least put the horse paper down on this side before I figure out where the borders are going to go. I can at least do this. Because I have to line the pictures up so that it's, you know, a constant line across the page and doesn't look weird. And I'm actually centering this horse strip so that there's barely a sliver of white on each side, because on the other one I put it up against the one edge, and so the other edge has a bigger white gap than the other edge. I'm making sure all my horse paper is right side up, because as I was planning it, I had one of them upside down, and I'm like, well, I'm glad I'm not gluing this down yet. Okay, so there's that. Let's bring this back in. All right. So these pictures we want to line up. So let's get a ruler. So it looks like we can have an inch. And actually, I had it positioned perfectly, but I have to put adhesive on the back, unfortunately. Otherwise, I had it positioned pretty perfect. So I can just sit the ruler there, and I can just line this up to be at the inch mark. And then I have an even amount at the top and at the bottom. And then I can do the same thing over here. I'm just going to bring this page on top of this one a little bit. So I'm going to go and put adhesive on both of these and get these put down. I'm just going to flip the ruler upside down and do it that way. So there, those should be even with each other. Sometimes I do that though, and they still don't come out right, and I have no idea why. All right, let's put these. Let's put these on next, and then we'll do our strips last. But yeah, I'm definitely a proponent of getting as many photos as possible into a layout, because you may have heard me mention before that I used to scrapbook so many photos, so many layouts, and eventually those books get really thick and they don't, you know, you can't store them. So I do enjoy having more pictures in a layout. So now I'm wondering, let's bring this back on top here. I'm wondering if we just go ahead and put the horseshoe, because it's the thinner strip of the two. If we just put that there, then what I'm thinking is if we just sit that on top of that, it'll overlap with the horse one a little bit, but at least then we'll still see the whole horseshoe. So I think that is what I'm going to do. And I'm actually, instead of putting it on the strip I'm actually going to put it right here on the paper because this whole cream color right here is going to be covered up. So I'm just going to put adhesive on that. I feel like that's going to be easier than me trying to do. I'm putting a little bit overlapping on the horse because that one piece is going to go over that a little bit. And then down here, just overlapping a tiny, tiny, tiny bit. Okay, so let's put this. Okay, so in this case, this goes up against this because the horseshoes are what's touching the photos. And why I did that was because these are both pattern paper and this is a word paper, so I just wanted to split the two patterns with a word paper. I just gotta line it up. Because I don't mind if this word paper overlaps the horse paper just a little bit because there's more of that showing already. So it's not, I'm going to flip my page upside down and put my horseshoe strip there touching the pictures. And the Ireland, which also needs to be upside down to be right side up later. I'm going to put that like that. And I like that I was able to incorporate some Ireland word paper in here because it does tie these pages into this strip a little bit better. And I'm going to just trim, there's a sliver of that hanging off there. And then there's a sliver hanging off on this side. So I'm going to trim those off. Okay, so that's what we're going to do on the other side. So we're going to match that. We're going to put the adhesive down here. And then the adhesive here, overlapping a tiny bit. All right, so horseshoe paper is going to be touching the photo. Like that. And see, there's still a little gap there. I'm not really sure. I mean, I measure my stuff when I cut it, so I have no idea why that happens. But there, it's a little bit less noticeable on that side. And then the Ireland paper will go down underneath of that. Yeah, see, even here, I need to move these over. That's going to bug me. I just don't know why that's the case because it's not hanging off of the side. So I'm not sure why that looks like that, but it's just less noticeable coming off of there versus being up against this brown. So that's why I decided to switch it up. Okay. So there, we have the layout done now. We just have to embellish it a little bit. So I'm going to need to, I'm going to look and see what kind of horse embellishments I have because I know I have, excuse me, I know I have some. Okay, so I found these, which all came from Hobby Lobby, that I could put on here. Quite honestly, I do think that this layout is already very busy. I feel like there's already a lot going on. So I'm not going to add a lot, but I'm probably going to put something. See, I've got the most space like around here. So I think that I should put something maybe in that. I'm thinking kind of right here, maybe one of these horses. Um, not sure which one. I mean, any of them. Any of them would be fine. And I've got plenty of horses for all the layouts. But what I might do, actually, is put one of these like black horses. Um, I mean, this was a brown and white horse. There's a white horse. Um, but I feel like the black horse is going to show up a little bit better than the brown, although the brown does look good because there's already a lot of brown. I feel like putting one over here would be cute. I like that little guy there. And these are just clear stickers, so hopefully that's going to show up all right. Yeah, that's all right. And then over here, I like this double horse right here. So let me put those guys right there. Or do I want to move them up onto the road here? But then they're kind of like Oop, okay, well, I guess that's staying there since I just peeled up half that picture. Well, not half, but quite a bit. So these are some good stickers. They stick. So those guys are going there. And then maybe one down here in the corner. How about this little guy? So maybe just something like that. Just a few horses, nothing crazy. Um, and maybe that there was there's this one that says "Smile, we're in Ireland," and then there was something else. I think it was in that pack. Maybe. Where is that pack? Can't find things when I'm looking for them. When I'm not looking for them, oh, there it is. Oh, lucky me, I'm in Ireland. Um, this is still in Killarney. Oh, Killarney National Park. I want to use that because this ride was through Killarney National Park. We took a horse ride through the park. Um, so I'm gonna put that right up top here. So there's that. And then I am feeling like maybe the Smile We're in Ireland or something similar to that might be kind of neat. Um, let me look on this big sheet here. What do we have here? Beautiful Ireland. See, these are also very big. And they really don't. Well, the green actually does match the pictures. Um, I don't know. Like this one, I think will be cool. Smile, we're in Ireland. Like, I think this one, because this belongs with something where there's a lot of us. So let me add a little bit of adhesive to that. Got myself a mess happening over here. Where's my full adhesive? Or sort of full, getting empty too. So I'm feeling like maybe just kind of like right up here. I mean, I could put it right. I think I'm just gonna put it like half on the picture and half like that. I think I'm just gonna do that. And this Irish scenery actually would be cute on this. I love this picture. I don't know why. I just really like that picture a lot. We'll just kind of pop that there. So that I think that is good, and I think that that would do well to complete these layouts. So I think we're going to call this good. Let me know in the comments below what you think. I would say let me know what your favorite layout out of today's video is, but the other one was very basic and this one's much more cool. So I'm sure this one's going to be people's favorite. But yeah, let me know in the comments below what you think of these layouts. And in the next episode, we will do, again, we're going out of order. We're going to probably do like the Cliffs of Moher and Connemara National Park, perhaps, because the Ring of Kerry and the sheepdog would be part of this town. But yeah, I need to get that sheet paper. So hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will catch you in the next episode. Have a great day.